What's up again, everyone? I have a new video planned for later this month in celebration of the holiday season, so look forward to that when it finally comes out. In the meantime, I figured I should have a quick little video right before that one comes out. Fortunately, I have a good topic to discuss. Disney Plus just released Muppets Haunted Mansion, and I managed to watch it over the weekend. Now, admittedly, this is kind of a big deal for me. I know it's more of a television special than an actual film, but as someone who has mentioned countless times about how big of a Muppet fan he is, I had to make the most of what I can get. The fact of the matter is, the Muppets haven't really been utilized properly by Disney for whatever reason, with the last major Muppet movie being over half a decade ago by now, and outside of a couple of cameo appearances and 2 shows that were pretty short-lived, the Muppets haven't really gotten a lot of attention. It's a shame too, because with Disney constantly exploiting the likes of Star Wars, Marvel, and movies that shouldn't exist, I don't see why you can't do something neat with the Muppets. Give these guys the attention they deserve. Well, I guess someone at Disney was listening, as now we got our first big Muppet project since Most Wanted, with a very unique holiday special known as Muppets Haunted Mansion. As the title suggests, this is essentially a crossover with the classic Disney ride, the Haunted Mansion, where Gonzo and Pepe have to spend the night at the mansion in order to win a bet, and they come across all sorts of ghouls, ghosts, and spooky stuff in the mix. I have to admit, as excited as I was for this project, with it being the first one with these characters in a while, I was also slightly skeptical. With it being announced kinda early on with not a lot of trailers and also being more of a special than a movie, I was hoping this would turn out to be a good reintroduction to these characters for a new audience. After watching it, I gotta say, if they continue to revive the Muppets by doing more specials like these in the future, I am totally game for that. This special is not only better than I hoped for, but it's pretty much exactly what you would want and expect from a Muppet Halloween special. It's filled with so many great appearances from so many different Muppets of different eras, with a lot of jokes and even some fun spooks in the mix too. While it is focused on Disney's The Haunted Mansion, one thing I love about this special is that there's a lot more focus on the Muppets here. We get a lot of crazy jokes and moments that are especially fitting for these characters that don't feel out of place at all. It still has that Muppet charm that only they can pull off. Plus, we get a variety of different Muppets from different eras. And while the special is mainly focused on Gonzo, it doesn't feel like there are too many characters that overstay their welcome. Interesting to note, the special doesn't heavily feature Kermit, surprisingly. But given how much Kermit we see as the focus of most Muppet projects, I don't mind the change too much here, especially when so many Muppets, new and old, make at least one appearance that's charming in their own right. From Kermit, Fozzie, Piggy, Walter, they even got Johnny Fiamma and his monkey Sal to make an appearance. That's something I never thought I'd see again. Not to mention a lot of great callbacks to classic Muppet monsters that fit perfectly with this special. It's a delight, especially for longtime Muppet fans. But as a parody of Disney's The Haunted Mansion, it also works quite well too. You get to see recreation of most of the major set pieces of the ride, and it's done in a very fun Muppet way with a lot of funny jabs at many of the iconic aspects of the ride. Though it doesn't overstay its welcome as a Disney project either, as it's mostly fixated on just parodying the Haunted Mansion, with no random references to other Disney stuff. You mostly get a lot of callbacks to the ride's songs and lines, but they also manage to be original here, as there are new songs composed for this as well. And they're actually pretty great and fun to listen to, with Life Hereafter being an excellent little melody that I didn't realize I needed from the Muppets till just now. There's even a great cover of Dancing in the Moonlight by Electric Mayhem, which is also a plus in my book. Surprisingly, this special also has a really great look to it, where it indulges in the more spooky aesthetic this time around. There's even a jump scare in this that actually kinda got me, but also managed to be executed in a way that's also hilarious, which is an accomplishment in of itself. Not gonna say what it is, but you'll know it when you see it. Also, like most Muppet projects, this is filled with a lot of celebrity cameos, and they definitely look like they had a great time with this, with Will Arnett especially being very funny as the ghost host. And the story itself does manage to flow very well, with it having a pretty decent message for kids about accepting yourself, which nothing new, but also done very well given the context of which characters involved with that message. If I did have to pick a few more flaws, there were a couple of jokes that didn't quite land for me as well, and maybe it's the nature of it being a Muppet project, but there were a few moments near the end dealing with CGI that I thought were a bit off-putting. Outside of that though, this is every bit of what I wanted from a Muppet Halloween special. It's every bit as zany and fun as something like this should be. Almost to the point where if this had a longer runtime and maybe had a little bit more budget to it, I would honestly see this as an actual movie. But for what it's worth now, it's still definitely worth your time if you have Disney Plus. And definitely support it, because I would love it for them to continue with making more projects with these characters in the vein of this. Maybe we can get more Muppet projects with them at other Disney attractions. I'd be more interested in seeing that than maybe another Jungle Cruise movie if you ask me. Either way, the Muppets are back in a comeback that's very well deserved at a time where we needed these characters the most. So definitely give them that support if you can. I'm going to give Muppets Haunted Mansion a 9 out of 10. Awesome stuff. Definitely watch it this holiday season. And I'll see you guys again next time. Happy Halloween, folks. Dancing